Good evening. The key Indian equity indices drifted lower today after enjoying a spectacular rally on Tuesday and consolidating in the previous trading session. Index bellwethers Reliance Industries and L&T also contributed to the fall even as banking power and metal shares advanced. It was a highly eventful day starting from the Infosys Q3 earnings and business outlook. The latest IIP data and weekly inflation report were also in consideration during the day. The BSE Sensex was down by 138 points to close at 16,037 and the NSE Nifty was down by 30 points to close at 4,831. Strong IIP numbers for November and soft food inflation data have raised expectation of a reversal in RBI's hawkish stance. More important will be the inflation report for December, which is due on Monday. The impending monetary easing may not materialize at the January 24 meeting, but the same is definitely on the cards sooner or later. The bond market has probably already discounted the fact that interest rates have peaked out, with the yield on the benchmark 10-year government paper falling to a 5-month low. Markets started off on a bad note on the back of indecisive global cues and Infosys quarterly results. Although the Q3 numbers of the Infosys were in line with estimates, the muted guidance for Q4 spooked the markets. The company cut its FY12 revenue growth guidance from 17 to 19% to 16.4%. The management commentary on the demand environment was also cautious. The stock plunged over 8.5% to end at Rs 2,588. TCS, Wipro and HCL Tech also joined the rally. IIP for December surprised the market with a sharp swing back into the positive territory after October's disastrous print. Industrial production bounced back in November, comfortably beating the consensus estimates of economists. The factory output, as measured by the Index of Industrial Production, grew by 5.9% in November versus a 5.1% contraction in the previous month. Weekly food inflation figures continued to remain in the negative territory in the last week of December, mainly due to the base effect. Fuel inflation also softened slightly. The sharp drop in food inflation over the past few weeks is likely to provide much needed breather to consumers and the policymakers alike. In the overseas market, the main event will be policy meetings of the Bank of England and ECB. Debt auctions in Italy and Spain went off pretty well, giving boost to the European markets. Asian markets largely finished lower after China's inflation stayed above 4% in December and food prices surged. The Shanghai Composite ended flat. Market breadth was slightly in favor of the bulls as the broader indices managed to close in the positive zone. The BSE IT index was the top loser, down by 6%, followed by the BSE Tech index down by 4.4%, BSE Oil and Gas index lost 0.8% and BSE Capital Good index lost 0.2%. On the other hand, BSE Power index rose by 1.3%, while BSE Metal index was up by 1% and BSE Banking index was also up by 1%. Meanwhile, the India VIX on NSE ended lower by 2.1%. Thank you. Wish you have a great evening ahead.